that okay out there? Everybody can hear me? Okay. Well, I'm Matthew Wilkinson. I'm with the Palace Theater Company, and this is what we've done in the last 8 months. A lot of you came the last meeting 2 years ago, which the floor was still in, and the cinder block wall was still in. A lot of you remember that. We wanted to, I've been involved since '91 as a haunted house, and that's how I got involved when I was 18 years old, and fell in love with the place, and here I am 12 years later, hanging on to it, along with the rest of the board members. Dave Major is over in the corner. Raise your hand. There you go. Renee Abbott, Jessica Reed. Where's Audrey? You hiding, Audrey? Right here. Did I miss everybody? Chad Schinkel, he's the president. He's at work, so he couldn't make it tonight. But we got a couple presentations for you. Hope you guys enjoy it. And there's refreshments in the back. It's all free. Like you give a donation, give a donation. If not, don't feel obligated. There's Krispy Kreme donuts, which I love, and some Dunkin' Donuts, some water, and some coffee. We got a PowerPoint presentation for you. The progress that we've made over the last 7 months. Steve, is that ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You want to narrate it?
Yeah. Hi everybody, my name is Steve Stanchfield, and I'm not officially part of the board yet, although I think I'm going to join at some point. I'm actually a film collector and an animator. I teach at a college here, locally at the Center for Creative Studies, which is now the College for Creative Studies in Detroit. In the last, I don't know, 15 years, I've worked for U of M Archives for a while. I've worked for movie theaters and spent a lot of time actually animating rather than actually projecting the film and actually working on it. But this is an amazing place, and when I discovered what they were doing here, I thought it was amazing and thought maybe I'd be able to somehow contribute a little bit to the progress here. So I helped put together the PowerPoint presentation and was actually lucky enough to come across some old 1940 simplex projectors, 35mm projectors, very similar to the ones that were probably used here, maybe even the same model that was used here. So we brought them over, and at some point we're going to have them hooked up and working. Let's see. Just briefly, the long and the short history here. All of you folks probably know more about this place than I do. I'm sure many of you have some history with the building here. But here's the real basics. The Wayne Theater is one of the few remaining vaudeville houses in Michigan. It's a true treasure. I've got to thank Matt actually for writing these. This is what the building that you're standing in right now looked like in 1926-27. I think this photo was taken on opening day, is that right?
Yes.
And of course has the old original woodback seats up. There's a rail standing right here. If you look, it actually looks like a shot from the orchestra pit. Originally this theater sat 850 people. That's pretty big for a small theater. So it's pretty astounding in so many ways. This is the lobby section. This is the part that doesn't exist anymore, I think. Is that right? Just the steps exist. In fact, those steps you can see from Michigan Avenue if you look. Is that right?
Yeah.
But everything else, of course, burned in the fire. The lobby of the Wayne was converted into a music store. It was known as Keyboard World for a while, and I'm not sure, was it something else as well?
They had a couple other stores, like a beauty shop and one that started.
Yeah. So the Wayne had built a hotel there too, right?
There was a hotel, Wayne Hotel, Stein's Flower Shop, which started right
Stein's
there.
Flower Shop. But that all burned down in 1985. And the theater itself, the building you're in right now, really didn't get harmed too badly by the fire. It seemed to be mostly smoke damage and water damage from them trying to put out the blaze, actually. There's the plans that were designed in, what, 1987?
No, those were designed in 95.
In 95?
This concept photo.
A concept picture, and there's also theater layouts and such. We didn't include them here. But these plans include rebuilding of the lobby, refurbishing the auditorium to its former splendor, and creating a performing arts center and movie venue for Western Wayne County area. The floors themselves that are in this part that we're standing in right now were at the same level as the platform that you're on. They built a large wood platform to flatten this out and to use the space for a music studio, for classes and such. So, and there was also a false ceiling in here, I think, that dropped down. In fact, if you look up, when we get the lights back up, if you look up, you can see the holes that they made to hang the wire from to put the false ceiling in. And there's a really neat hand shot from the balcony. The building is still miraculously intact, at least the auditorium is. Pretty amazing. This is definitely a one-of-a-kind place. There's not too many theaters that were built in the 20s, shut down in the 50s, and still exist in some form. You can see that some of the damage is actually pretty bad. Mostly plasterwork damage. It doesn't appear that a lot of that is structural. I think the roof was replaced here. Am I right?
Yes, 92.
In 92, the roof was done. Just some more of the damage. These pictures are all taken by Matt, I'm sure, on ladders all over the place. The Schaefers themselves, who own the place, use this theater not only for storage, but also to help some of the other theaters gain new pieces. Some of the railings actually ended up over at the Covatus, which was another Schaefer theater in Westland. Right?
Yeah.
And
most of those back.
now that the Covatus is closed, those have come back home. They've actually come back to this theater after all these years. Who knows? They went in there in the 60s, probably.
Yeah.
And the seats in the whole building were pretty much removed, even from the balcony. That's what it kind of looks like up there. That's the area in the lobby behind here. If you were to enter the stairs that are coming out from Michigan Avenue, you can see that. And then that's the projection booth, what it looks like up there right now. It's funny because you can see where all of the different items were, and you can tell sort of when they were removed by what coat of paint was left behind from them being gone. And that's the light. That's the lighting control panels that are just behind the stage over
They
here.
control this whole building that we're in now.
Wow.
Lighting, chandeliers.
They control the whole building. Come over here, Matt. Help me with this. This is the natural cooling system. There's a room out there in the back that has a huge fan, a huge serpentine belt. It looks like a scene out of Modern Times, out of the Chaplin Modern Times movie. It's an amazing little room there, and completely at odds with the rest of it. In fact, it looks like it's probably intact. I mean, everything seems to be there. There's a giant belt. It's really
Turn on and then go.
And probably we could turn it on and with some electricity and it'll fire right on up.
amazing. Here's some of the projection equipment that's in the basement here. And some of it we hauled upstairs, or they hauled upstairs. And just for display. These are projectors from all different vintages. There's a 1930s or 20s monograph head, which actually has the slot for the crank to go in. There's a later magnetic sound heads here from when CinemaScope and quadraphonic stereo were popular in the 50s. There's adapters here to put drive-in reels, all sorts of things, probably from a lot of the other Schaefer's theaters. They own, how many theaters do they own?
Up to 18 at one time.
Wow.
Drive-ins and theaters.
So when they had something bad, they'd haul it over here, I think. The original design is still intact with all the roof. There isn't a whole lot of redesign that needs to be done in here. It's mostly restoration, mostly fixing. But it's a daunting and frustrating task. As you can see. The cinder blocks, if you look at the stage area that we're standing in front of here, there were cinder blocks completely blocking this, like it was a giant wall. And once they'd taken this wall down, it became really apparent that the original curtains were still completely intact, that they literally hadn't been touched since 1953. Matt's been nice enough to start trying some test areas here, just to see what the condition of the paint is underneath the soot. And it actually cleans up pretty well, as you can see here. Not perfect, you're still going to need a repaint at some point. But you can see all the original paint and work is there. It's astounding. It's amazing. There's some of the plaster work here.
That's up in the main,
Yeah.
right up in here.
It's beautiful. They just don't make buildings like this anymore. This is the
Brazilian arch.
Brazilian arch at the top there. And there's the original sheriff's centerpiece, which is completely intact. It looks like all the plaster is still there, just like when it was built. And if you look in the middle, I don't know if you guys can see this very well. It's a little faded, but there's a W in the middle there for Wayne. A good coat of paint, and that'd be right back. Okay, here's the projectors that were brought over. These had kind of a funny story. They were out of the Redford Theater, and when the Redford Theater closed in the early 70s, I think 72, 73, a local collector, a man named Archie Leslie, was friends with projectionists and asked if he could purchase the projectors, and he did so and brought them into his house in Southfield. He had a little 50 starter home and managed to haul these giant projectors down the stairs and hook them up in his basement, and actually had a whole theater set up in his basement for some 30 years, and would run old movies down there. He would run 16 millimeter, which is the smaller film, as well as this bigger 35 millimeter, and he kept these machines in miraculous condition. They're just wonderful. They run film like the day they were made. So now they found a new home at the wing, and looking at the floor up there, you can see the indents where simplex projectors were at one time. This is the stage area that you're seeing right in front of us here. Hey,
Okay, that's actually down here, down in this pit, the orchestra pit, and the ceiling was up this way, right here. And that's what the shape it was down there when we started throwing the blocks from the stake, from the wall down there, and it knocked all the drywall down, so when we came down there, it was a mess. We had to clean that out. And as soon as we did that, we started taking out the floor, which you'll see next. That's underneath the floor still, this false floor, and that's right in about this area right here. There's Chad removing some floor. That's over there. There's Chad again.
Removing a lot of floor.
Moving a lot of floor, yes.
Okay, I need to go to the second part.
As you can see, it was a mess in here.
Notice the walls are black.
Notice where the walls are black. That's from when we did the haunted house in here. We just finished painting in here like a day ago, yesterday.
The original stage.
There's a lot of damage upstairs in the back wall. I did some drywall work over right in that area there. That's where it's painted at now. And from here it looks good. It looks neat and clean. But when you get up close to it, it really needs to be restored with plaster. That's just with drywall and mud. There's me way up at the top. That's what it used to look like. And that's after. Now that's the original color scheme, 1927, with the paint chips that we've taken out. This theater's only been painted one time after the original 1927. So we're only looking at 2 coats of paint on the plaster. As you've seen, a lot has happened in the last few months. When completed, the historic Wayne Theater will be a great asset to the community of Wayne. The theater can be used for a variety of different purposes, such as community events, movies, plays, a gathering place for group events, and more. It will be a link to the Wayne's historical past as is helping to bring business into the community. Also, I wanted to add there, years ago, many of you will know, this used to be a community center. You used to come with your neighbors to watch the Lone Ranger when the TV set wasn't in the living room. This is where you went, you know, with your best buddy and watch Lone Ranger series. The historic Wayne Restoration Project. Our heritage is all that we know of ourselves. What we preserve of it, our only record. That record is our beacon in the darkness of time, the light that guides our steps. Conservation is the means by which we preserve it. It is a commitment not only to the past, but to the future. That's done with that one. Give us a minute, we got another show here. Dave, or Jessica, turn that light on up there. Cover your eyes. It's going to be bright. There we go.
What you're all about to see is a pretty special treat. As far as we know, there hasn't been an audience here for a movie since 1953. So, for the first time in 49 years, we're going to run some cartoons from the projection booth. Actually, 1930s cartoons, some of which undoubtedly played at this theater. We got a little unfortunate that we didn't manage to get a sound wire to run down, so the sound may be a little bit echoey. What we've tried to do is pick out a couple of 1930s cartoons. We'll probably run one and turn the sound down and let you gather, and possibly if you'd like to go out and grab some food, that would be cool. It's an amazing place, this theater, and here's hoping that some good things happen here. Let's hope that these great folks who spend so much of their own time, all volunteer time, let's hope that they can get this theater running and functional, and it can turn into a good centerpiece for the city of Wayne again and help everyone out. One of the thoughts I had just being over here was we've got these restaurants back here. It'd be great if we could have them come out on occasion, Saturday afternoon, and come see some old movies. Just a neat thought.
We got Mr. Schaefer here. Is here. He's in the lobby. Hey, Charlie. Where's he at? There he is. Right back there.
Yeah, brings back a lot of memories. I took this deal over. My family took over in 1930. I was only 12 years old. I was an usher. I thought it was a big deal to be an usher. Now I'm an old man. I'm looking right here. Same old theater, exactly the same. The only one difference. It's closed. But I spent a lot of years in here.
So did we.
I met anybody who's lived in Wayne for a long time must have been in this theater. You know, a lot of those things are in the ticket box. I just looked at it. I took tickets out of there myself for many years. I just stood there and took tickets. You know, we only charged 10 cents when we first opened. 10 cents. Now, you know, you pay $7, $8 for a little. Nice meeting you folks. See you later.
I'd like to thank Virginia Crescent. Give her a round of applause for helping me out so much. I swear, every time I go to the museum, I say, hey, Virginia, where was this used to be? What you think? About 5 seconds later, oh, that was over here on Wayne Road and Michigan Avenue. You know, it's amazing. Thanks a lot for all your information. You helped us out tremendously. We got another treat for you, Tammy.
Just took me a minute to get up here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tammy Mayrand, and I told Matt that I would show a little bit about the acoustics. I'm going to sing a song. It was made famous by Judy Garland in the 1930s. It was the first time she was a lead role in a movie. The piano player's a little slow. Dear, when you smiled at me, I heard a melody I thought would never depart. Something inside of me started a symphony, singing with the strings of my heart. 'Twas like a breathless breeze. I heard a robin sing about a nest from afar. All nature seemed to be in perfect harmony, singing with the strings of my heart. Your eyes strings of my heart. 'Twas like a melody I heard in melody I thought would never depart. Oh, rhapsody divine, your rhapsody divine, sing with the strings of my heart. Your eyes made skies seem to again. What else could I do again but keep repeating through and through? I love you, love you. I thought my heart was still, I would love you still, I would never depart. But when your dance divine, your rhapsody divine, sing, oh, 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 sing with the strings of my heart.
Well, what do you guys think of that? It's great, isn't it? If you got, I don't know, Steve, you got more cartoons? Is anybody gonna, would you like to see more cartoons? Would you like to see more cartoons? I guess everybody wants to see more cartoons.
House light. Well, everybody like that? You enjoyed this show? That was really neat. First time you guys seen anything good?